Hello and welcome to my Audio for Games project on Persona 5 Royal. This is by me, Kui Joseph. Well, I hear you asking, what is Persona 5 Royal? Well, as described by a Reddit user on r/Persona 5, it's a game about a group of high schoolers who go into evil people's minds and slay their inner demons to make them repent for their crimes. This game was developed by Japanese developer Atlus, who have also created Demon's Souls, Shin Megami Tensei, Catherine, and Tokyo Mirage Sessions. The game is an enhanced re-release of Persona 5, which came out in Japan 2019 and worldwide in 2020. The original was released in 2016 and was released worldwide in 2017. Some things you may need to know before going into this presentation. The main character is nameless, in the game only being referred to as his codename Joker when necessary. Since the game is a role-playing game with a fixed protagonist, the game needs to guide you on how to feel in certain situations, using music, voice acting, or the atmosphere, but without actually telling you how to feel. They do this so they don't break the player's immersion. The game feels like an anime, so it is very over the top and the audio reflects that. So first of all is the music. The music is very important in Persona 5 as it is a big part of its identity. Its stylized identity and the music itself is known as acid jazz, which is a combination of jazz, rock, hip-hop, and funk. The entire soundtrack was composed by Shoji Meguro, and the soundtrack has 110 tracks total. Not all short tracks, as well as some of them are up to 7 minutes long. Finally, like I mentioned prior, the audio reflects on how the protagonist is feeling in the moment, which helps in building immersion. Here are some examples.
Yo.
Hey! Oh!
Let's go.
So now, as you have heard, the music is meant to reflect the mood of the protagonist. For example, when you enter LeBlanc, the music is meant to be relaxing, chill, you're home now. It's not meant to be intense in any way, shape, or form because this is where you go to rest. However, the battle in Mementos, the music is an electric guitar. It's meant to get you amped up. It's meant to get you excited. It's got to fill you with the feeling of urgency. However, when you enter the Velvet Room, the music is meant to be dreamy and ethereal, like nothing you've heard in the game before, because the Velvet Room is a place like you've never been before. It's a place between reality and dreams, and the music reflects that brilliantly with its confusing yet grandiose nature, and that's how the music is meant to be. In Persona, it's meant to portray the mood of the protagonist, so you can understand how he's feeling, which helps with immersion and self-projection. The voice acting in Persona 5 Royal is one of the things it's most known for because it is truly excellent. Since the game was originally made with Japanese voice actors, the English-speaking voice actors had to match the high-energy performances, which JRPGs are known for. Since the Japanese language itself sounds faster than English to non-Japanese people, the voice actor of Aunt Takamaki, for example, a character within the game, explained that she records all of her voiceovers in a highly treated booth with an unspecified Neumann microphone. This is to ensure that the vocals are extremely high quality. The voice acting is like it's out of an anime. It's meant to be over the top because there are so many characters, so the voice actors have to overact the characters to give them some kind of personality. Here are some examples.
Yo, what took you so long? Oh, that makes sense. Sounds like it sucks to be a girl. Dude, could you try pushing your way into our conversation a little less awkwardly next time?
It must be so nice to be a guy. I was gonna change in the bathroom, but now there's a huge line. Ooh, pork miso soup! So that's what Dr. Maruki's fan club is making.
I want to thank you again for this morning. That man was even more frightening than he might have appeared to you. So I truly appreciate what you did for me. Thank you so much. Actually, there's no need for you to be so polite. I am an underclassman after all.
So the next thing I'm going to discuss is the role of Foley and SFX within the game. Now Foley and SFX are given little importance in Persona 5 Royal, relying more on the music and the atmosphere to build the scene. Foley is typically limited to footsteps, gunshots, and very basic action such as closing the door. SFX on the other hand has a slightly bigger role, which the sounds include the shadows, also known as the enemies in the game, and also the menu sounds, which we'll discuss later. The penultimate thing I shall talk about today is the atmosphere. Now the atmosphere is an extremely important part to Persona 5 Royal, because it's what helps build one of the biggest features of the game, is that it's like a life sim that takes place in Tokyo. Now these environments have been very carefully crafted to make the player feel like they were where they are in the game. For instance, when you're in the subway station, there's a lot of reverb, there's a lot of crowd noise, you can hear the subway announcer, and it feels like you're in the subway station. However, when you're in the back streets of Yogan Jaya, it's quiet, it's claustrophobic, you can hear people talking, and it really helps the player feel like they are where the screen says they are. So here are some examples.
Yogan Jaya. This is Yogan Jaya. Shibuya. This is Shibuya.
The final thing we're going to be talking about today is something that is constantly overlooked, and that is the user interface sounds. The UI sounds are critical to a JRPG like Persona 5 because of one key reason. These games typically take years to make, and companies like Atlus do not release them unless every single element is perfect. And that includes something as small and as menial as the menu selection sound. If it sounded cheap or out of place, it could ruin the full immersion that Persona 5 provides. So it is key that the UI SFX fits the game's themes and style for Persona 5 Royal. The sounds are sharp and clean, they do not stick out, and for such a small detail, it has been done to perfection. And that wraps up my presentation for you today. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I hope you have learned something. Now if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask at all. See you in the next video.
It's showtime!
And I believe we can fly.